Floods, droughts, and wildfires last year were just a preview of what is to come. A hotter climate and nature loss are changing our economy and our financial system. At the ECB, we must understand this change to ensure financial stability and to fulfill our price stability mandate. With our new climate and nature plan, we focus on the following three things. First, the green transition. Second, the growing physical impact of climate change. And third, the risks from nature loss and degradation. We will study the impact on the economy and the financial system. This will help us improve our own models. We will also work to reduce our carbon footprint in everything we do, from banknotes to how we supervise banks.
May I just answer one question raised by your eloquent and absolutely right analysis of the World Economic Forum? And that is, what spirit animates them? Well, if you believe people are the problem, then that is, of course, a genocidal spirit. If I believe that the problem with my kitchen is it has too many mice, the solution is to kill the mice. Too many roaches, I kill the roaches. They're the problem. They're the impediment. And so make no mistake, and this sort of tracks with what I was saying earlier, don't lie to yourself about the agenda. If people are the problem and you're a person, then your life is in the way of whatever goals they're seeking to achieve. By definition, am I missing something? No, I'm not. But all of us, it's so grotesque because, to further elaborate in one sentence, it's a demonic spirit, just to be clear. Any spirit that seeks to hurt, kill, divide, demoralize other people is a demonic spirit, by definition. So that's what animates it. You're the target, and don't lie to yourself.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's America's Credit and Finance Drill Sergeant coming to you live and direct. I just pulled over for a second because I've been dropping you some science on these banks, right? I mentioned some information to you about Capital One being on the ropes, and you might want to be careful about how you maneuver as it concerns them. You know, several months ago, late last year, we had Signature Bank and Silicon Valley Bank that went under out in California, two of the biggest banks that handle cryptocurrency. Today, I'm coming to you to drop some real vital information to you about Wells Fargo Bank. Now, Wells Fargo Bank has never been high on my list because they give poor customer service. They got the highest interest rates. They have the lowest returns on their investment accounts as well as their passbook savings and their checking accounts. However, they were also recently fined. Well, I guess about a year ago, they were fined for over $2.2 billion by the Consumer Financial Protection Board and the Attorney General of the United States for opening fraudulent accounts, for repossessing servicemen's vehicle while they were on TAD, wrongfully foreclosure on people who weren't even behind on their mortgages. It was a laundry list of things that they did wrong. A laundry list. They got fined, they got spanked for over $2.1 billion. And now I found out this morning in the middle of closing down, Wells Fargo Bank is a great bank. The hedge there, the remaining amount of their and they were fined over $1 billion. Now they've been fined for several $100,000 over the last 12 years, consecutively, for fraudulent activity. Well, that's $2.2 billion. I think that was strong for the county banks. While Wells Fargo is maintaining a public image that is still, 100%, they're operating at about 25% now. The last and allegations of fraud and misappropriation of funds and the CFO, same thing. Hey, look, whether this finding out what's behind the scenes of markets, like when I was on Wall Street, I saw the insider trading 20 years ago, 25 years ago when I was in college, right? And then it came out. Here's the thing. Well, I'm an insider. banks have already gone. They went under between 2008, 2007, and 2010. But now there's going to be another weeding out. There's going to be a fleshing out, and you better get your money over to a credit union, preferably not Navy Fed. I'm not even going to get into that, but preferably not Navy Fed. There's several other good credit unions you can go to. I'm saying to you, get your money out of Wells Fargo Bank. If you got a loan with them, pay that joint off. You had mortgages, buy on it, get a HELOC, get the hell out of Dodge. If you have a large amount of money there, you might want to move it over to a credit union. I'm just saying. The Bible said what has been shall be again. There's nothing new under the sun. Every fractional reserve currency since the beginning of time has fallen. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And I'm not trying to be a doomsday sayer, but I am a truth teller. And I'm telling you the truth. Capital One's in trouble. Wells Fargo Bank is in trouble. The rest of them, they're skating on thin ice. And the temperature's rising. So what you think is going to happen? Collapse. Get your money in the credit. Get some gold. Get some silver. Get some cryptocurrency. Stop thinking it's a scam. The real scam is the damn bank. That's the real scam. Where you put your money away for 12 months and they pay you 0.0001% interest. Inflation's hitting you at 5 and 6%. So you're losing 4 and 5%. You're getting spanked. You're getting penalized just for having your money in the damn bank. You need to have it in a piece of real estate, or put it in cryptocurrency, or put it in anywhere but a damn bank. Where we thought it was assured up to a certain amount, and then people finding out that ain't true. We thought these IRAs and all these bank products were safe. Come to find out, they got the back door open to Wall Street, where Wall Street guys are playing with your retirement money. Hello. Hey, I'm just saying. You might want to read the headline. I can't say when it's going to happen. I'm telling you. It's the right thing. It's just a matter of time. Get your money over to the credit union. Get some gold. Get some silver. Get your currency. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XLM, Algorand, XRP. A little bit of Dogecoin, a little bit of, what is that? Good returns on, what is that? Anyway, do your homework, do your research. I'm not a financial advisor, but I am a financial advisor. So you might want to check the math. Do some homework. Look at all the fines that Wells Fargo has to do over the last 2 years. Google Wells Fargo mortgage fraud. Wells Fargo fake account fraud. Google Wells Fargo unlawful repossession of servicemen's vehicles. I'm just saying. This is not conspiracy theory. These are all facts. Because I cut my teeth from the age of 19 on facts and law, I stand on facts and law. None of this is my opinion. Just saying. American Credit and Finance Drill Sergeant, coming to you live direct. I have to pull over to let you know. Wells Fargo's in trouble, yo. Stay next. You might want to move on. Just saying. Just saying.
This landscape, for example, the rapid growth of digital currencies could reduce reliance on the US dollar. People often conjecture that cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin may replace the US dollar as the world's reserve currency. But most trading in decentralized finance, or DeFi, involves trades using stablecoins, which link their value one for one to the US dollar. About 99% of stablecoin market capitalization is linked to the US dollar, meaning that crypto assets are de facto traded using US dollars. So it's likely that any expansion of trading in the DeFi world will simply strengthen the dominant role of the dollar in those markets. I do not expect to see the US dollar lose its status as the world's reserve currency anytime soon, nor even see a significant decline in its primacy in trade and finance. Recent developments that some have warned could threaten to have status, if anything, straightened, at least so far.
The
narrative for a few years because I've talked to your CEO, Brad, fairly often. He's made the case this is a way for banks to save money, use XRP as kind of a bridge currency. But I got to say, it doesn't seem to be happening. Every year, this is kind of the promise, but we're not seeing a lot of adoption. What's going on there?
I would agree that adoption of digital assets has been a little slower, you could see it as being incredibly quick or incredibly slow, depending on what time frame you think is reasonable. I would say revolutionizing international finance is not something that you would expect to happen overnight. But it is a multi-step process, and I think the first problem that we encountered, we kind of thought that we could take a direct line to settling with a digital asset, and I think a lot of people thought that, well, now we have digital assets, let's just use them for payments, and that'll be that. Part of the problem is that the payment systems are just not capable of supporting instantaneous settlement. So if you think about a payment system like SWIFT, where you just kind of push a payment message out, and you don't necessarily know the entire path, and you don't know the fees until later. You don't even know if the destination account even exists until sometime later when the payment is actually processed by the destination institution. There's no way that you could build instantaneous settlement into a system like that. So we kind of found ourselves in this situation where if we wanted institutions to settle their international payments with a digital asset, we first had to rebuild the payment messaging, sort of the plumbing. And we discovered something interesting on the way. What we discovered was that the existing plumbing was so bad, it dates back to batch computing days, that just improving that messaging was a product. That was something that banks and non-bank financial institutions would be interested in. And so we focused on building a top-notch payment network that can settle with a digital asset.
Cases. But one of the things that is heavily debated in the community is the use case versus a store of value. So how do you see the use case versus the store of value with XRP?
Sure. So I stumbled onto this polarizing issue about a year ago when we were creating these XRP valuation models. We created 6 models. They were simulations designed to understand what would be the price of XRP in certain conditions, in certain situations. And the models really kind of looked at 2 fundamental things, which is one, the utility aspect of XRP, which is basically a value exchange, like a payments currency, like where the whole ODL idea. This is what we talked about before, where you can exchange, one currency for another currency very, very quickly and inexpensively. In that use case, you don't really need to own XRP for very long. I'm just kind of like going to buy it quickly and sell it to facilitate this exchange. So that's the utility aspect. Then there is the second part of it, which is, well, if I'm making money and I have profit, I got to store that profit in something. And this is the function of a store of value. Do I want to store that profit in gold? Do I want to store that profit in US dollars? Do I want to store it in real estate? Well, there's some advantages to storing your profit in a very liquid asset. So if I have all my money in real estate and something happens and I need some cash, that could be a problem because you can't often sell a house in a day, right? Like it can take months in some cases. So real estate is generally not very liquid. Liquidity in this context refers to how easy it is to buy and sell something. So a liquid asset is very easy to sell. The dollar is one of the most liquid assets from our lifetime because I can pretty much buy and sell anything I want with dollars. I don't have to go through this process. So when I'm trying to figure out where to store my profit, these are considerations to have. And if everybody is going to be doing their global trade in XRP, money loves efficiency. So if I'm a country like Mexico, I don't remember what your country you are in our example, but let's say you are in Europe and we're doing a lot of trade with each other. And every time I want to sell you my widgets, we go from pesos to XRP to euros, and then you're going to sell me something, and so it's going back and forth. At some point, it's unnecessary for me to stop trading my XRP back to pesos. If it's just profit and I'm not really planning to spend that money, I'm just trying to hold it, it's more efficient for me to just keep it in XRP. Because if I'm going to need XRP to buy whatever I'm buying in euros, at some point it becomes friction. It becomes an unnecessary step. It becomes inefficient for me to be constantly switching my XRP back to pesos to turn around the next day and switch it back to XRP. So this is where the idea that a currency that is widely used in global trade becomes a reserve currency kind of almost by laziness or a need to just have fewer steps and I can hold my value, hold my profit in XRP. This is the single most divisive topic in the XRP community, in my opinion, based on my experience of these valuation models in the white paper that we wrote, is that nobody disagrees that XRP has value as a utility asset, which meaning it's used to move value between two entities. No one disagrees about that. The thing where we disagree is whether or not XRP will be used as a store of value. And so I've kept since I figured this out, since we figured this out, I keep a pulse on sort of the voices who claim to be kind of in the XRP community and have an audience and a following, whether or not they think XRP will be a store of value or whether they do not. And this is the dividing line. Pay attention to this from now on. If anybody's going to tell you to sell your XRP at $3, they don't believe that it's going to be a store of value in the long term. I happen to believe that it has to be a store of value, because what else is a liquid, stable, respected, needed, used asset other than XRP? Now, you could say, well, Bitcoin could be a store of value, but if I'm not using Bitcoin to buy stuff on the global supply chain, then that's an unnecessary step. I'm holding my XRP, I'm going to switch it to Bitcoin. All right, well, I guess I could do that, but it seems unnecessary. So there's just a really logical case, in my opinion, that XRP will be both a utility asset and a store of value. And when that happens, this idea of the virtuous cycle kicks in. So if you imagine like a tornado, like a cyclone, where it starts out kind of slow, but as you go to the top, it accelerates and has a lot more momentum and speed to it. That is where these competing forces of the utility aspect and the store of value aspect kick in. Because the more something's used, the price is going to go up. People watching the dollar lose its value are going to be like, oh crap, I don't want to hold my wealth in dollars. I want to hold it in something that's going up in value. Well, XRP is being used, so I'm going to hold my wealth in XRP. Yeah. What that means is that the more XRP is used to store wealth, the less is available for the transaction. So now there's a diminishing supply available for the utility side. So therefore the price goes up more. And then more people are like, oh, this thing's going up. I'm going to pull more out to store my value. And it creates these competing forces that will lead to a very, very large exponential increase in the price. I do believe that this will happen. It's going to take a while, because you have to have the utility side hit a tipping point where people start to see that XRP is a great place to store value. And I'm not really talking about us as retail holders. We are inconsequential, unfortunately, in this. I'm talking about nations holding their wealth, like hedge funds, like big entities that have a lot of money, not you and I maybe having 10,000 or 50,000 XRP. We're talking the large quantities where when your treasury for your country has to be stored in an asset. When that starts to happen, then we're going to see a very, very different situation than we have today.
Right. Well,
you just need to follow the money. JP Morgan, for example, is planning to tokenize their gold holdings. Just think, the entire gold and silver markets are worth about $12 trillion combined. Think about that transfer of wealth. That's $12 trillion that could eventually become tokenized. Or look at US Treasuries. That's a $22 trillion market. This is happening now. Goldman Sachs have started testing. They're tokenizing treasuries, and they've called this a pivotal moment. And again, this is just the beginning. You take a look at this. Okay. John, do you see what I'm holding here in my hand?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a patent that was filed by the New York Stock Exchange.
The New York Stock Exchange?
Yes.
Okay.
The New York Stock Exchange was founded in 1792, and it houses the world's biggest companies. I'm talking about companies like Exxon, Citigroup, Walmart, Bank of America, Berkshire, JP Morgan, Visa, and more than I can count. All told, there's $27 trillion in market value in that market. Well, get this, John. The NYSE, the patent they just filed, reserves the right to become a fully digital marketplace. In other words, my research indicates they could be preparing to become a full marketplace for tokenized assets.
That is huge. That's big news.
It's massive. Just think about what this means. Soon, on top of being able to buy shares like Apple or Amazon, imagine you can log into your brokerage account, and on top of buying your stocks, you can buy an early share of the next millionaire-making piece of art or a Picasso, or imagine this, John, what if you bought a small stake in Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago real estate? Imagine if you could buy into it years ago. Had you been able to, you could have made an impressive 30 times your money. Now, thanks to tokenization, you'll be able to take stakes in investments like those alongside investors like Mark Cuban, Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, and many, many more.
Glenn Hutchins is no stranger to power. He's a private equity pioneer, a former presidential economic advisor, and a Federal Reserve board member. He's also part owner of the Boston Celtics. A first big splash was in 1999 when he co-founded private equity firm Silver Lake Partners. Today, his former company has $45 billion under management with investments in Tesla, Dell, Alibaba, along with other tech giants. Hutchins has turned his attention to the world of fintech, along with many other projects, and he shares his story with me now.
Gotten into that, but we've just seen a huge meltdown over the past 12, 15 months. Are you still a believer?
So if we'd been sitting here together in 2002, we probably were. You would have asked me, the internet. We've just seen this huge meltdown in the last 12 to 15 months. Are you still a believer? Right?
Yep.
And so the answer is yes. Now the digital currency solution is the most important technological advance I've seen since the internet. It has the capacity to do lots more, but it certainly has the capacity to enable us to move anything of value around the world at the speed of light at no cost. It has three components. It has a token of value, which is called the Bitcoin. It has an accounting mechanism, which is called the blockchain. But the most important piece, which is one that people aren't focusing on, is the protocol. The underlying protocol by which we agree to conduct these transactions. So you use a series of protocols every day, and you don't even think about it. You don't think about the internet protocol, you don't think about the simple mail technology protocol, you don't think about the file transfer protocol, you don't think about the high-text translation protocol. I could go through them, right? You just make use of the technology and the protocols make it work. The people who really understand what's going on with digital currencies understand that putting these protocols in place, the blockchain protocol, the Ethereum protocol, the Ripple protocol, and then enabling those protocols to cause transactions to occur. And those transactions can be defined very broadly as not just moving things of value, but anything that's got an information content, is extraordinarily transformative. The focus on the value of the token is distracting and uninformative.
So maybe now's a good time to invest in it.
I'm investing in the companies. I have owned some of the tokens on and off, but I'm investing in the companies that use the technology to drive this transformational.